Hello everyone, Jav here from Cut and Make Crafts. How are you guys doing today? Hello. So I'm here in Melbourne and it's around 7:30 here, 7:24 to be exact. So it's evening on my side here in Australia. And we are slowly getting into the spring season actually. Because it's the opposite, completely opposite to the rest of the world. So, yeah. Hello, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. So, today I am going to discuss a very important topic, some file related to some files that designers offer in their design packages. So, that's what we're going to discuss today. And it's a lot of info for especially new designers. New designers might find this pretty helpful. So yeah, just grab your notebook and paper and pen or whatever. Just tune in today's episode of the SVG Business Podcast. SVG Business Boss Podcast. So for those of you who are new here, I am Jav from Cut and Make Crafts. I am an SVG designer for the official Cricut, and I'm also an SVG business coach. I'm here to help people with a full-time job earn extra cash by selling SVGs. So in today's video, I'll be talking about a major change that I've done to my products. And this is something that you might want to consider yourself for your own shop once I share the reasons behind the decision that I made. And I'm fully aware that a lot of designers might not agree with this approach, which is totally fine because everybody has a different thought process and a different way of dealing with things. So that's totally fine. You're free to have your own methodology, your own the way you share files and everything's totally up to you. But you can take this as a tip or you can just leave it. It's totally up to you. But I just want to share my perspective here, and also so just want to put this out there. So for those who are just starting out, you might also find this helpful. So the change that I am talking about is that I have stopped offering PNG files with my designs. And I'm going to explain why I've done that. But before I get into that, I just want to highlight the differences between all the different types of file formats that are out there that designers usually share, which are common in the industry, in the SVG industry. So I'm just gonna highlight that, and feel free to share your perspective on this as well in the comment section. And if you guys have any questions, you can ask them at the end. So before I get into the details why I have stopped offering PNG files, I just want to explain what all different file formats are out there and what they all mean, okay? So first and foremost, we have the PNG file. That's our number one. So PNG is a flat image. PNG is the ones without the background, like they have just the picture and there is a transparent background. So let me just open Design Space and show you guys what a PNG looks like in Design Space. Just give me a second. So it's important to understand, especially if you're a new designer, you should understand the difference between all the file types, PNG, DXF, SVG, because a lot of designers also don't have this info. So this is the basic building block that you must know, you must understand. What is an SVG? What is a PNG? What is a JPEG? Because if you don't know the difference yourself, how are you going to help your customers, right? So For example, let me just upload a PNG file and show you guys. So here we have a PNG file. So if you upload the PNG file, you can see that it will appear like this, like there will be a transparent background and you'll see all these colors and everything. And while uploading, you need to select complex. And once you save this, once this is in your canvas, so if you're uploading the PNG file, you'll have two options: either to save it as a cut file, or you need to save it as a print and cut file. So PNGs are usually saved as print and cut, so you can have all these design elements that you see over here, the pink and the blue color. And once you upload the PNG file, if you look in the design panel, the layers panel on this other side, you can see that it will say that this is a print and cut file, and it will only have one layer. As you can see over here, there's just one layer. But if I upload an SVG file, so let's say, let me look for something that is colorful. So let's say I upload this this card file. Okay, so we have two different colors over here and we have two different files, right? So as you can see, this will appear in different layers. So this means that this is an SVG file. So when people are sharing their files, when they're selling their designs, they include a PNG file, which is just one layer, and they include a JPEG file, which is similar to a PNG file, but it does not have a transparent background. And then people include the SVG file, which is the main file that is going to be used with your Cricut. And as you guys saw, that it appears in different layers, and you can edit each layer separately. And some people like to include a PDF document, which is printable, which you can print out. And then people include the DXF file format, which is the most compatible file format for the Silhouette Studio, the Silhouette machine. And DXF means, and you don't even need the business suite to use the DXF files in the Silhouette Studio. So they're the most compatible with Silhouette. That's why if you're selling the designs, you can include the DXF, so people can just use the DXF file without using the SVG file in the Silhouette. And lastly, people also use the EPS version of the file, which is most compatible with Adobe. So these are like six different file types. All right, so the problem, so all these days I was just following the industry norm, and I was including all these file types in my designs except the PDF and JPEG, because I don't see any use of those. So I was including the PNG and SVG, obviously, and DXF file and EPS. So I was including 4 of these files. However, recently, after being in the industry for a couple of months, since the time I started properly selling SVG designs, and I saw all these thefts and everything that is going on, and based on that, I made a decision to not include the PNG files in my with my designs. And the biggest reason behind this is because of all the crazy amount of design thefts that are going on in the Facebook groups, in the SVG dump groups. So the problem is that there's so many of these groups popping up every single day, and people have no problems in posting these files over there, and every single day you'll see a new group which just illegally shares all the works, all the stuff by other designers, without asking permission. Of course, they're not allowed to because you're supposed to buy the designs instead of just getting them for free. And they're like these, some of these groups are huge, like there are like 100,000 plus people in the group, like 300,000, 400,000, and they just grab their phones and they just keep dumping all these PNG files over there. And keeping this in mind, I've decided to stop offering PNG files to make things slightly difficult for these thieves to share, to grab and share, right? Because I know obviously it's not gonna completely stop them, but it's gonna somehow make it difficult for them, because once you unzip the file, I mean, once you get the file, and you'll see the PNG file is very readily available. Even if you just open up your phone, and if you see the designs in your phone, you can easily see the PNG file. It's very, very accessible, and it takes 2 minutes to just pick up the file and just drop it and post it in the Facebook groups. And people do that in the comment section, and they create albums and photo albums and then just post the pictures over there. It's very convenient for them. So to make it not convenient, I've decided to stop offering PNG files and just stick to the SVG files, because you cannot see the SVG files. First of all, you can't see the SVG files because they appear with the browser icon, or if it's in your phone, it will appear with a rectangle or something, which says the file is not readable or something. But because you can only view the SVG files in the illustration software as well as Cricut Design Space, so that reduces the accessibility of the file. And secondly, you can't, there's no option to directly post the SVG files in the group, like, because if you are commenting on the Facebook post, you can see when you try to upload the SVG file, it says the file is not compatible. And the same thing goes for the albums. You cannot make albums using SVG files. So it reduces the accessibility of the files, which I think will make it more difficult for the people to just simply upload the files on the Facebook groups to some extent. And as a designer, I want my files to be safe, and as I will try my best to make it inaccessible, and based on that, I have decided to stop offering PNG files. And I know a lot of people are gonna think that those who want to steal are still gonna do it, blah blah blah. And that's totally okay. You do you, girl. That's totally fine. But this is just my perspective, and you can take it or leave it. It's totally up to you. And the second reason is because a lot of people don't understand the difference between a PNG and an SVG file. A lot of people think that they're one and the same, and which creates more problems, because all these new Cricut crafters are coming into the community and they don't understand what's the difference between a PNG and an SVG file, and they end up uploading, when they're working with the files, they end up uploading the PNG files to Cricut Design Space, and then they have to spend time cleaning up the file. So I didn't know about this because I just understood, like, everybody knows that you have to work with a SVG file. But the other day I was talking to a customer and she was like, oh, this file is going to be so difficult to clean up. And I'm like, what, girl? You don't even need to clean it up. It's just an SVG file. And then I realized, like, a lot of people are simply uploading the PNG file instead of the SVG file because they don't understand the difference between the two file formats. So they just unzip the file and they see this PNG file design and they just click and upload that on Design Space, which creates a lot of different problems, because then they have to clean up the file, they have to get rid of all the white spots. And also, when they try to cut it out, it reduces the quality of the file, because if the PNG file is not in its highest quality, it will have all these jagged edges, which are not clean. And when you cut it on vinyl, it's going to come out with jagged edges as well, which means the cut is not clean, it's not high quality, and then the designer gets blamed for creating low quality files. So that's another reason that I don't want to offer PNG files, because it confuses the customer. And instead of doing this, what I've started doing I've started including a simple image which tells people the difference, what kind of file to upload, what the file would look like in their computer. So let me just show you. So I include this photo with my designs, how to use this SVG file, and I tell them that their SVG file is gonna look like one of those icons, will have one of those icons, and they need to upload the file that looks like this. And I also rename my files with which says SVG or EPS. Let me just show you. Some of my latest designs. So here. So this is how I name my file. So this is the SVG, and just at the beginning I write SVG so people can see it, even if it's in a different sort of view. Like for example, if it's a list view, people can see it. Like over here, you can see the first letters are DXF and SVG and EPS. So when I include all these details, it makes it easier to understand what kind of files they're supposed to work with and what kind of file they're supposed to upload. And when they don't find the PNG file, they're obviously gonna go for the SVG file, and this will give them better cuts, and this will reduce all the frustration that comes with uploading the PNG file, where people think that they have to clean up the file first. So yeah, that's the reason. And it also saves me 5 minutes every time I create a design, because I don't have to save it as a PNG in the PNG format, right? And we all know time is money. So yep, that's the reason. And if you guys have a different perspective on this, you feel free to share it, and feel free to post it in the comment section. And if you guys have any questions, you can post them here as well. So for those of you who really care about your time, just like me, you are a busy bee, and you have a full-time job, but at the same time, you also want to make extra cash on the side selling SVG files, then I invite you to join my course, SVG Superstar, where it's a guarantee that within 30 days, you are going to learn to make SVG files, your own SVG files, even if you have zero knowledge about working with SVGs or working with an illustration software. So if you want to save your time, if you want to stop spending time watching YouTube videos, you're fed up of YouTube videos, and you're fed up of asking questions in 10 different Facebook groups, you want a proper feedback from someone who works with Cricut and someone who has sold 20,000+ files in just past year, then this is your chance to learn from me and be a part of the community where all the other designers, all the new designers are working together. So if you're interested, feel free to enroll in my course, SVG Superstar. I'll tag it in the details below. And it's a guarantee, guys. If you put 100% of the effort, you do all the assignments, you do all the modules, then you will learn how to create your own SVGs. And here's a proof. I'm going to show you guys. This is one of my students who enrolled in this program just on July 15th, and in just 30 days she's already making these beautiful SVGs. She just recently submitted her designs, one of her design, and you can see this in design space as well. And she's one of the students, like a role model for all these students. She joined the group, she asked questions whenever she got stuck, and I have seen her make the progress starting from ground zero till now, and it's just been 30 days and she has come so far. So it's a guarantee that if you put the effort and you do the work, in 30 days you will be creating your own awesome SVGs. And let me show you another really cool design created by one of my students. There you go. So cactuses are really popular these days, and this was created by one of my students. So beautiful. And she also joined the course just recently. So guys, if you want to see those results in just 30 days, be sure to enroll in my course, SVG Superstar, and I'll see you inside. So if you guys have any questions related to SVG designing or selling, feel free to ask me now, and you can always post them in the comment section later on as well. So if there are no questions, I am going to end the live session now. Thank you so much for those who joined. All right, I'll see you guys next week. Bye-bye.